And here was this African woman trying to communicate with Japanese kindergarten children. And she asked me as, the message had not arrived, so she asked me as we were driving to the school, what shall I tell these children? And I said, well, tell them about the hummingbird. And I thought the hummingbird is as good a story as you could tell. So we got there and she was ready. She was introduced by, I think it was a school, the kindergarten kids, but one of the higher, maybe 5-year-old, or no, maybe 6, 7-year-old, got up and said, thank you very much, Professor Maathai, for coming to speak to us. Last time you were here, you really gave us a good speech. You told us about the hummingbird. and then she proceeded to say what else. So my mom looked at me and said, so what am I going to talk about now? But as always, she connected with Japanese kindergarten children, and she connected with Hetzo State. And I always was privileged to be in her presence as a daughter, but also as a mentor. She walked and taught me every day. I want to tell you another story. Just recently, we found in her house a bunch of books of art when we were in school. And I found my younger brother's composition book from 5th grade. He was 10 years old. And in this book, he had written a composition. I hope I get through this. And he wrote about the person he admired most. He was 10 years old. And he wrote about my mother in his 5th grade handwriting, and talked about how kind, how funny, things that we recognized throughout our lives about her. And I thought, I hope my brother lets us use this composition at the Wanjiru Maathai Institute, because it just reflects what we all knew, the consistency, she was like that to us every day, and you saw it from a different perspective. But as a mother, she just taught us the consistency, be what, don't let anybody define you. And I always remember her telling us, do what is right, public opinion notwithstanding. I remember saying that as a kid, not even knowing what notwithstanding meant. But I always knew to do whatever I wanted to do, public opinion notwithstanding. So I just wanted to give you those stories, but also to tell you something that is really exciting that is going on. At the Greenbelt movement, as many of you know, you can imagine what it was like the last 2 months. We've been in a state of shock, but also something interesting is going on, because we have a staff of about 150, and about 60 of those are in Nairobi. But I have never seen a more inspired and wired bunch as I do now. People are so geared to do more, better. And this is an opportunity for the Friends of the Greenbelt movement to help us get across this moment, because bigger things are going to happen at the Greenbelt movement. So I'm really proud of the team, and some of them are here: Judy, Mercy, Edward, our good Professor Karanja, Peter, Benjamin. There's such a great team here. Maybe you've heard them speak in the course of this week. But we have a very special team in Nairobi and out in the field that is going to do some pretty amazing things in the years to come. But 2 days ago, I attended a workshop that is coming up with a program for the Wanjiru Maathai Institute that Professor Karanja talked about. I think my mother said in the last few months of her life, if I do one thing more, I want to make sure that the Wanjiru Maathai Institute gets off to a good start. And she spent a lot of time working on this institute, because she was so convinced that we needed a new type of learning. A new type of learning that was based on innovative and transformational concepts, what she called experiential learning. And so we spent 2 days with some incredible experts turning university education upside down. It was fascinating to see the discomfort in university professors, but also the excitement about the possibility to do something completely new and different. So the Wanjiru Maathai Institute for Peace and Environmental Studies, which is a project actually of the Greenbelt Movement and the University of Nairobi, is going to, in the next year or so, present to the world a pretty radical and revolutionary educational proposition that will be based on the concept that as human beings, naturally, we learn best by experiencing. And so it will be a program that is based on experiential learning. That has been endorsed, it's pretty well supported. But that's really where most of our time is spent, between the Greenbelt movement and making this dream of hers come true. So again, I just wanted to share that with you because we need you as we walk those two paths. But also the challenge for all of us is obviously something, again, that I learned in the last week, that most of the problems that we face today are not simple, single solution problems. Apparently those were resolved a while ago. The ones that are remaining are the messy, complex problems. So they need a new kind of thinking, and so this is extremely exciting. And indeed, this is the legacy that my mother wanted us to push on. So I think I'll stop there, but I just want to thank you all for coming. There's so many of you here, really. Thank you so much. Faces I recognize, many of you. And just to let you know that for us, it's not, someone asked me, how is it for you? You know, every day is different. One day is like this, the next day is like that. And that's the way it's supposed to be, I'm told. But seeing you and seeing these candles, I'll tell you one more thing. I woke up this morning thinking about this event and I hoped there would be candles. Nobody told me there would be a candle. And I hope Professor Karanja will tell us to sing This Little Light of Mine, because that is a song that my mom loved a lot. And I thought, oh, if we could sing that song and have candles, then we'll have arrived. So thank you very much again.